Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. We are in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day is always my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades, because during the day, the algorithms and the day traders, they are the ones that are in control of the price. Their price movement doesn't mean that much to me. What the price movement that does mean a lot to me is at the end of the day, in the last hour, in particular in the last few minutes, when the large financial institutions come in, make their buying and selling decisions, move the price significantly, and those closing prices are the most valid prices, in my opinion, to make my buying and selling decisions from. I believe following what the large financial institutions do at the end of the day is a long-term edge in your trading. So thank you all for coming today. It's always nice to see you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your spending your time and investing your time here. And I hope by doing so, you're getting a good return as far as learning some good trading and investing principles. So let me shut down my email. All right, here we go. And currently, the Dow is down 67 points, down 0.19%. The NASDAQ, however, is up 19.26%, up 0.14%, and the S&P is up a half a point. So basically unchanged. So not a lot of movement, seems like, the last couple days. There's been a divergence. There's been money flowing into the NASDAQ. It seems like there's money flowing out of, not financials, but flowing out of industrials in the Dow 30 in the larger cap stocks. So here's the plan for today, everybody. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, everyone's favorite part of the day. Secondly, we are going to go through my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them moving forward. After that, I did have 2-day trades today on VIX. I just focused on VIX today, and I had some good trades. I'll show you what those are. After that, we're going to go over to the board where my students have their positions. We're going to go through each one of those. We're going to see how those are doing. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology. In my opinion, most important time of the day, most important part of this podcast is when we talk about the psychology of trading, maybe talk about some good trading words of wisdom. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I do have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. First, I need a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Secondly, I need to have a good risk to reward ratio based upon strong support below me and strong and likely resistance above me. The ratio there is a minimum of 2 to 1. If I'm risking $1,000, I need to be able to make $2,000 or more to the upside to make the asymmetrical math work. And then number 3, make sure you have a full trading plan regardless of what kind of stock you buy, regardless of what kind of strategy you're using. Make sure you're adjusting for volatility in regards to how many shares you're buying. Make sure you have an emergency stop. Make sure you have an end of day stop. Make sure if you take profits during the day, you know where those profit target levels are. Make sure you're aware of strong resistance, significant resistance levels above you. And then also always make sure you have a complete trailing stop protocol or rules in place so that if you do have a nice profitable trade and it starts moving up, you don't let the market take it all away from you, and you can lock in some of those profits with a trailing stop methodology. All right, so using those 3 criteria, I am going to go, I do have some potential indicative candidates. We'll go through those as we get closer to the close of the market. I'll go through each one. I'll go through the different time frames. We'll look at the risk to reward ratio. And if I find something that makes sense, looks good, I will buy it shortly before the market closes. After the market closes, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you need any clarification on anything I discussed here today, please let me know. I'm happy to do that. If there are any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the market closes, go ahead, feel free, put them in the live stream. Just make sure you put an emoji by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I will do my very best to get to it before the close of the market. And then lastly, if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me, if you could please wait to tell me about them after the market is closed so that the pressure's off, I'm done teaching, trading, and we'll take as much time as we need to get them all taken care of, okay? So I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Steve Burns is first on deck. Good to see you, Steve. Appreciate you being here as always. It's seriously always an honor and a privilege to have you here, Steve. I appreciate it every day. I know everyone else does. Hope you and Holly and the dogs are all doing well, my friend. And I really like what you had to say yesterday about couples that trade together, stay together. I think that's fantastic. Tracy Peterson, good to see you, Tracy. Hope you are having a good day. If Paxton's around, please give him my best. Lova, Michael Wilkinson is here. Good to see you, Michael. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts earlier today on Twitter. Steve says VIX is trying to close over the 10 EMA for the first time in 14 days. Well, the VIX has been pretty dang low, hasn't it? Right? I mean, if it can close above the 10-day, it will show that something has changed. You know, if you're under a moving average for a long time and then it pops up on over it, then that's the possibility that something has changed. And in regards to the market, that may be something bearish for the market. But VIX has been pretty low just from a common sense standpoint as well. Packy is here. Good to see you, Paxton. Steve says, new 520 crossover on CTLT. CTLT. Let's take a look at that one. CTLT. Oh, definitely is. Little high for me, up near the second ATR channel. I mean, it could continue to go up for sure, but you know my rules, right? It was able to break over this previous high, which is good as well. Increased volume today. For me though, that one's just a little bit extended. It already has rejected that second ATR channel. But if anyone takes that, hope that keeps going up for you. But that, you know, it just makes it easy for me to have my rules, and then I don't have to anguish about it. So, but that one just a little high for me because of the rejection of the second ATR channel. Kamal is here. Good to see you, Kamal. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope everything's going well with the family and your trading. Appreciate everything you do for this channel, Kamal, and as always, appreciate your friendship. Steve says Etsy has trouble with that 200 SMA. Yeah, I think I looked at that earlier. Let's see. Yep. Got over it one day, failed. Tried to get back over again today and failed. Steve says lots of dull and droopy price action across my watch list and trades this week. Yeah, that's the perfect word. It's droopy. It's just, it goes for a second and then it stops, and yeah, it's there hasn't been a lot of volatility like we had last month. Frank is here. Nice to see you, Frank. Hope you're doing well, sir. Appreciate you being here as always. Appreciate everything you do for this channel with your poems and your quips, and just you being here. I appreciate that, Frank. Dan is here with the peace sign I'm peace signing right back at you, brother. I'm doing it for real. David is here. Hello, David. Good to see you. Hello, Greg and group. Gary is here. Nice to see you, Gary, as always, my friend. Lilia is here. Hi, Lilia. Good seeing you. Hope you and the dogs are doing well. Ava is here. Always nice to see Ava. Hope you are having a good day, my friend. And greetings to you as well. So, all right. Well, let's get started. Let's start out with CUGG. All right, so CHGG. Gary, Jonathan, and I did buy CHGG with the double bottom, bullish divergence, missing right shoulder, V1, false breakout to the downside, bullish engulfing bar. Bought it 2 days ago at 74.64, moved up. I believe I hit one profit target yesterday, moved up today. You can see I didn't quite get there. Did reverse like a lot of stocks. It's down 0.58% on the day, but it is still up on the trade, like the MACD's positive. CMI, Gary and Tracy and I did buy CMI back here at about 260.59 with the 520 crossover and the V1. Next day, it took off like a rocket ship, did take some profits off like I always do when it moves up a certain amount. Next day, had a big down day, closed below both the 5 and the 20. Those are the moving averages that I used to take the trade. That's my signal. It was a bit of a red flag. I did take half off on that day because it closed below both the 5 and the 20. Yesterday continued down, reversed back up. Today, down again. Glad that I took the half off when I did. Again, that's a red flag. That's a precautionary measure, so I did take that off. It is down 0.67% today, and I will be keeping this. I'm going to keep this. Again, I already sold half, right? Took profits, sold half, so my position size is less, but I'm going to just keep through this with the trading plan. When the 5 crosses under the 20, I will get out. Currently, the 5's 259.56, the 20 is 259.32, so the 5 is still above, so I will keep that. Second one is down 0.69% today and also down on the trade. Okay, here we go. Lilia, Johan, Jonathan, and I did buy LMT. I made a mistake yesterday with this trade, and Lilia pointed it out to me. Nice setup, return to value, sideways motion, V1, 520 crossover, really good entry. Bought here at 384.99. Next day moved up, took profits. Next day we moved way up. Took a bunch of profits off the table. It did get over 65 RSI. I did not notice that. Yesterday, we closed below the previous day's low, so I sold half. But what I failed to recognize that we did go over the 65 RSI and then close below the 5 EMA. So that was a mistake. It happens to everyone. I think I got fixated on the close below halfway of the close below the previous day's low. So I did take off half. So I did what I was supposed to there. But whenever I move up to at least 65 and then I get a close below the 5 EMA, I get out of the whole trade. So I missed that, and I'm just going to have to get out of all of this today at the end of the day. But I'm glad that it did bounce off the low. It bounced off really the entry point, but is down today. But I will be locking in profits and exiting the position at a profit. So that's good news. Micro strategies. I always mix those up. Tracy Paxton in large caps Paxton. And Gary and myself, we did buy MSTR as a proxy for Bitcoin. We did take the trade back here with an under 30, over 30, and a 200. Moved up, took some profits, closed below the previous day's low, took some profits. Then yesterday we had a thorough rejection of the 200-day moving average, closed back over, good risk to reward ratio. I reloaded the full position here, so this was kind of a twofer, which I'm glad, and it's up 8.14% today. I did hit a profit target at 475.17 and 490.96. So really nice move here, up 8.14%, and it's been a great trade and 2 profit targets. REKR. I did buy, let's see, anyone else in here with me? Yes, Jonathan, Tracy, Paxton, and Lilia. We did buy REKR with this nice sideways motion and then closed back above the 200-day moving average. Bought it at 1158. Moved up the last couple days, did hit some profit targets. Today, it is down 0.34%, but it is still up on the trade and still holding the 200-day moving average. SPY, I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. Yesterday, I bought it at 422.28. Sold it this morning at the open and very near the high at 423.15. So bought at 422.28. Sold at 423.15. I'll buy this again today at the close. TER, David and I bought TER with the 520 crossover here at 127.70. Moved up, took some profits, did get to 1.5 ATR trailing, which means if I get a close below the previous day's low, I get out of half. I got out of half here at about 128. Moved up the next day. Yesterday, the price closed below both the 5 and the 20. My rule, if I take a crossover and the price closes below both the 5 and the 20, I get out of half, which I'm glad I did because it's down 1.33% today. The 5 is still above the 20, so I will keep that remaining amount until the 5 actually closes under the 20. But this one is now down on the trade. Not too much, though, because of the profit targets that we took, intraday profit targets, locking in some gains with the close below the previous day's low. But all in all, probably slightly negative on this trade. Twitter, it's had a great trade on Twitter with Tracy and Paxton and Gary and myself. Really nice risk to reward with a deep dip buy with the close under the 200, close back over. I bought at 52.58. Moved up beautifully, held the 200-day moving average, did move 1.5 ATRs from entry. On this day, we had a close below the previous day's low, so I sold half. I've kept the other half. We've had another leg up. It's up 2.42% today. Did hit a profit target at 59.69 and at 60.60. So far, this particular trade is up 12.81%. Okay, VIX. I told you I had a couple day trades on VIX today. I'll show, oh boy, this is a cluster, isn't it? What's the best way for me to show this? Ah, boy. All right, I'll do my best here. I know this is really messy because I've had two different trades, but I had a close, we had a close under, close back over the 200. I didn't buy that. The next bar came back, tested the 200, which I did like, bought it at 33.13. Couple bars later, had a big up move, sold half at 33.23, had another big up move at 33.33, had another up move at 33.37, and then we had a close below the previous day's low where I got out at 33.27. So I'm going to get rid of that trade. So that was a really nice trade. It did end up going higher, but I got a good portion of it. And then earlier in the day, now it's a little cleaner. I did buy this close back above the 200-day moving average at 33.15. 3 bars of sideways motion that then exploded up, took half at 33.31. Then had a close below the previous day's low after moving 1.5 ATRs. Sold at 33.24, and then this bar closed below the 200, but I only had a quarter left. Sold that for a loss at 33.08. So bought at 33.15, sold half at 33.31, sold another half of a half, 33.24, and then that last quarter I took a small loss on it, but still profitable because I sold 3/4 at profitable levels. So I hope that makes sense. You know, VIX has been so low lately that it makes me feel comfortable in buying the VIX a little bit more aggressively, and that is why I have been focusing on the VIX quite a bit for my day trades. Let's take a look over at your positions. Kamal, nice deep dip buy on Apple with the close under, close back over the 200. Kamal bought at 125.89. It is currently 127.21. It's up 0.37% today and up 1.07% on the trade. Kamal, Tracy, and Paxton had a nice deep dip buy, good risk to reward ratio here on Match.com, MTCH. Bought at 137.90, and it's just moved up beautifully ever since they bought it. Down a little bit today, but still nicely up on the trade, up 3.31% on the trade so far. Win. Gary did buy Win with this return to value in the V1. He actually bought calls with the 130 calls expiring June 18th for $286 a contract. So this one is now 126.75 down on the day, and those calls are definitely down at the moment. Roku, Steve and Jonathan bought Roku with the 520 crossover. They bought it at 341.50 on the 520 crossover. Initially went up a penny today. So it is up now 4 cents, 12 cents. Up on the day, just slightly down on the trade. Uber. Gary bought Uber back here at $48.20. It's currently $48.39. So this one is down on the day, but it is up on the trade. DKNG, Frank and Gary had a great trade on DKNG with the 520 crossover at 49.60. Moved sideways, didn't do much, then had a big strong move up above the 200-day moving average. Yesterday, a nice big up day. Today, it's slightly down, but Frank and Gary are still up nicely on this trade, up 9.62%. Wow, DKNG is a mover and a shaker. Angie's List. Steve bought Angie's List yesterday with the 520 crossover. He bought it at $14.45. It's currently $13.97, down 3.59% today. So down on the day and also down on the trade. ELY, this has been a long-term trade for Frank, but it's been a beauty. Frank bought this all the way back here at $27.75. It's $35.81. It's down 1.7% today, but the good news, great news, it's up 22.27% so far on the trade, which is the most important. Levi. This is a trade Kamal took on Levi. He bought this at $26.81. It's currently $26.81. So he's down on the day, but he's exactly even on the trade. Bill Paxton bought Bill at $149.50. It's currently and Tracy bought it at $149.50. It's currently $156.05. It is down 2.86% today. But on the trade, it looks like from entry to exit, it's over 3.51%. So that's good. Congratulations. Shopify, Kamal bought Shopify at $12.31. It's currently $12.18.27. It's down 1.01% on the day, and it's slightly down on the trade. UTZ, Steve bought UTZ yesterday with the 520 cross at $25.12. It's currently $24.52. It's down 2.39% on the day and slightly down on the trade as well. And then lastly, A, B, and B, Jonathan, Johan, Gary did buy A, B, and B at $143.20. It's currently $146.01. It's down 0.68% on the day, but they are up 1.9% on the trade. So, real quick, CHGG, I have no changes on CHGG. CMI, as long as the 5 holds above the 20, I will keep the remaining quarter that I have. Even it is down, but I will keep it, and I'll just play along with the 520 rules, 259.44, 259.29, so it is still above. Lockheed Martin, I made a mistake yesterday and only got out of half instead of all of it. I will clear that out today because we got above the 65 RSI. And then we closed below the 5 EMA, which I missed yesterday. So we'll be getting out of that. Look at MSTR. My gosh, it's up 8.87% today. This is unreal. It's unreal. Maybe I'd hit that third profit target. So this this was the good trade of the day. REKR looks like we're holding the 200-day moving average. The SPY has gone negative now. Of course, I'll be buying that overnight. TER sold half yesterday. Is the 5 still above the 5 still above the 20? It is. So I will hold that as well. Oh, JEFF. I knew I was gonna forget. I have JEF as well, but I couldn't put it on my charts. I bought JEF yesterday with this nice false breakout to the downside, nice V1. Did buy it at, this is a different charting, so 32.35. It's 32.06. It's down 29 cents today. It is holding the halfway of the washout bar. That will be my stop. I knew I was going to forget this one. So this one's down. This one's down a little bit as well today, but still holding my stop level. Thanks for reminding me on that, Paxton. Paxton says JEF is holding the 5, but down on the day and down on the trade. I will be holding. Yes, that is what I am doing as well. Frank says, Frank has a poem. Great. Let's see what it says. And let me type it in over here. Boom, boom, and boom. All right, I'm excited. The trend is your friend until the moment it ends, as traders prepare for what the market will send. Our plans help us map out the trades we intend. Persistence ensures we succeed in the end. Wow. The trend is your friend until the moment it ends, as traders prepare for what the market will send. Our plans help us map out the trades we intend. Persistence ensures we succeed in the end. It's so true. We need a plan. We need to follow what the market's doing. We need to map out our trades. In other words, have that plan, be persistent, be patient. And if we do that, we will succeed in the end. What a poem. Thank you, Frank. Just congratulations on these beautiful, beautiful poems. I mean, it's just unreal. I never cease to be amazed with this, and I am being sincere. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's see what's happening over here. So everything's turned red now. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, red across the board. Red across the board. Okay. Let's see if we can find the VIX index chart. Steve wanted to see, or Steve was mentioning that. Yes, very close to closing over the 10-day. You can see for a month's time, we have been under the 10-day, went above it, closed below it. Yesterday, went above it, closed below it. Can we close above the 10-day? If we close above the 10-day, that may be interesting. That may be a signal that something has changed. That's how I look at moving averages. If something's been under a moving average for a long time and then finally gets above, that could be a sign that something is happening. All right. Jeff lost the 5. Okay, well, currently the RSI is at 49.59, so it's lost the, do you mean it's lost the 50, or are you talking about the 5 EMA? We went above 50 yesterday. Today it looks like we'll be closing, right now it's at least it's below the 50. So if it closes below the 50 RSI, I will just go ahead and take half of it off as a precautionary measure. I really like this rule because if we go above the 50, it shouldn't lose the 50. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to lose the 50. It's 49.55, but it's possible. And if it does, I will sell half. So I'll have to watch that at the end. If somebody could remind me, because it's not on my regular charts, I would appreciate it. VIX is just cranking. All right, so I do have quite a bit to do here today, actually, at the end. Listen, before we start looking at possible new end-of-day positions today, new end-of-day setups, let's go over to Trader Psychology land. Let's talk a little bit about trader psychology. Of course, it's the most important skill that you'll ever develop and learn and develop in trading. Of course, you do have to learn how to identify support, resistance, position sizing based upon volatility, end of day stops, emergency stops, intraday profit targets, overhead resistance level, trailing stop, all that. It's important. You do have to do that, right? I mean, that is what I teach, and I do follow my rules, but all of that is worth nothing if you cannot follow the plan. That's why trader psychology is so important. And here is someone that really knows about trader psychology. His name is Stephen Goldstein. He's at AlphaMind 101 on Twitter. He has a great podcast where he interviews traders from all over the world. I was fortunate enough to be a guest on here twice. Please do yourself a favor, subscribe to Stephen Goldstein. He has great posts. He has funny posts. And of course, his channel will let you know when he has any new interviews. He interviews large hedge fund managers. He interviews just small retail traders like myself, options people, all that kind of stuff. It's really great. I highly recommend it. And again, he's at AlphaMind 101 over on Twitter. But let's see what Stephen has to say for us today. If you are not willing to be a fool, you can't become a master. And this is from Dr. Jordan Peterson, a famous psychologist. Again, if you are not willing to be a fool, you can't become a master. And listen, the reason that this resonated with me is that I have a friend who I worked with him for 6 months. Really a great student, really a great trader, but he never trades. And I know why. Do you guys have a reason? I mean, do you have any thoughts on why he doesn't trade? You're right. He's scared to do it because if he does it and he loses money, then he'll feel like a failure. But on the flip side, how is he ever going to become a master if he's not willing to start being a fool? We're all fools. When we start new and a new hobby or a new skill, of course we're not good at it at the first, right? I mean, we're just not. But unless you put yourself out there, I tell them all the time, would you please just hit a buy button and do something? He goes, yeah, but I might lose. I'm like, so what? We all lose. We all lose sometimes. But, it's a psychological thing where he does not want to acknowledge. I mean, if he starts trading and he loses, he'll be like, well, I know all this information, but I still couldn't do it. It's a head trip. It's a head game. But don't worry about getting out there, putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable, and becoming a fool for a little while until you figure out what you're doing. But like like Jordan Peterson says, if you are not willing to be a fool, you can't become a master. Well, you want to be a master in the end, right? But you have to put yourself out there and maybe make some mistakes at the beginning, and it's okay to be a fool. And if my buddies out there listening, you know exactly who you are. Let's get it together. Let's get things together and let's start trading. You know how to trade. You know everything. I've taught you everything. You just have to put it into action and do it. Start with the super small position size, right? Just get some repetitions underneath you. So when I read this today from Stephen, it really resonated with me because I just had this discussion with somebody. But it's okay to be the fool. along the way to becoming a master. So thank you, Stephen Goldstein. This is a great post from Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, and it is so true. Hope you're doing well, Steve, over there in the UK. And please go over and support Steve's channel at AlphaMind101 over on Twitter. Thank you very much, sir. Dun, 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 dun. All right, what am I looking at here? All right, so really what I have to do today is I have to sell. I may have to watch CMI as well. That may cross under if we go into the close. LMT, I'm definitely selling. The rest locking in profits, luckily. MicroStrategy is now up 9.32%. With any luck, I hit that third profit target. That would be outstanding. Twitter way off of its high. I don't like Twitter doing that up against the 50, but I will continue to hold. Kamal says, I need access to your Trigger Shy Friends account. Yeah, I can put you guys together for sure. He's a great trader. He just won't take a trade, though. Isn't that wild? He doesn't want the reality of having a losing trade and all the information, coming around to him saying, oh, I knew all this and I still couldn't do it. It's just a head trip. But there's a lot of head trips in life, and there are a lot of head trips certainly in trading. Okie doke, smoke. Let's take a look. Bitcoin having a big day. If you're trading on this, Bitcoin on the CME, this is a totally valid signal here. This is a V2, day 1, 2, 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 closes above day 1's close and closes above the 200-day moving average. And MACD went positive. Looks good. Looks good, and that's why our MicroStrategy is doing so well, but up 7.62% today. Pfizer, V2, 520 crossover. Here's day 1. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 closes above day 1 and a 520 crossover and broke out of the high. Is that good? That's all good. Do I want to buy it? I do not. And why not, Greg? Well, I don't like the risk to reward anymore. I mean, if I use the halfway of the washout bar, I'd be right here. That's quite a big risk, right? Like from here to here is quite a big risk. From here to here, which is a reasonable place for it to stop, it's less upside potential than it is downside potential. Now, if this were to come back significantly tomorrow, 520 crossover was still in place, we are still holding the halfway to the washout bar, then I would buy it because it would reduce my cost basis. It would give me a better risk to reward ratio. And look, it's very normal for crossovers to initially pull back. And I actually like buying pullbacks while the pullbacks on the crossovers with the crossover still in place better than I like buying the momentum. So Pfizer's doing great today, but just outside of the parameters of where I want to buy it. Tesla, I was looking for a higher low close above the 200-day moving average on Tesla. Earlier in the day it was there, but it faded. Not enough buyers to keep it above there. That's a bit of a bad sign. So nothing on Tesla today. BMY. This is an interesting one. False breakout to the downside and a V2. Here's day 1, here's day 2, here's day 3. Day 2 thoroughly washes out day 1. Day 2 closes, it looks like it's going to close above day 1's close. Normally, I would take a half position. Normally my stop on this would be a close below halfway of the washout bar. What's interesting today though, this allows for a good, decent, higher stop loss. See the big bar we have up today? See, about halfway of the bar, we have the 50 SMA. So this, I can take this here and not have to use this stop loss here. I can just use a close below the 50, because if it closes below the 50, then it's lost halfway of today's big up bar. And it's also lost the 50, and it gives me a reasonable risk to reward, because here, from here to here, I'm risking like 1.13% with the possibility of going back up here 2 or 3 times that. So I kind of do like BMY the best, but not based upon the normal stop loss of halfway of the washout bar. It would be halfway of today's bar, because it is a large bar, and that halfway coincides with the 50. So you have 2 levels of support there. So that's my favorite so far. Casey, wow, it must have missed on earnings. It's down 4.18%. It was much, much, much lower. It has gone under 30 and closing back above 30. It also has gone below the negative third ATR channel and above the negative third ATR channel. Let's look over on the weekly. Weekly did reject the negative 1 ATR channel, so it did find some support there. On the monthly, we rejected the 1 ATR. Boy, I've been looking at this all day, and it's just kept going up and up and up. But this could be a possibility as well. EXPE. Looks like we have a 520 crossover in the value zone with sideways motion. I do quite like that. MACD is positive. That is also a possibility. NEE, nice sideways motion here. False breakout to the downside plus a V1. It gapped open earlier, came back, tested the gap. This would have to close above 72.47, which it is right now, 72.54, 3.58 million shares traded. The only thing I don't like about this on the weekly, we have that 5 EMA right above, and we've rejected the 50. So just that by itself is a little concerning to me. So for that reason, I'm taking it off. Clorox, double bottom, bullish divergence. Here we have a low with deep red MACD bars. We rally into some green. We come back. We tested the low today. MACD is still positive. This is the double bottom with a bullish divergence. Lilia pointed this out. On the weekly, we also have a double bottom and a bullish divergence on the weekly as well. Here's the first move down with deep red MACD bars. We rally into some green MACD. We come back down. We have tested the previous low. And here the MACD is down, but it's not down as deep as over here, meaning that this second move down here, the momentum from a MACD standpoint, the momentum was not as strong. And the implication is that the first move has deep red or strong momentum, and then we rally, and then we come back down on fewer. It's basically saying we could be possibly running out of buyers. That's really what that says. So on the weekly, we have a double bottom and a bullish divergence. On the daily, we have a double bottom and a bullish divergence. The only thing about this, though, everyone, is I really don't like this bar. I mean, this bar was much higher earlier. It's given the majority of it back. And the V1 is not really valid V1. I mean, yes, it did test the low. Where is your stop going to be on this? Just if you lose the low of this range, it's already lost halfway of this bar. So I think I'm just going to pass on Clorox. Intel has had some nice sideways motion. Discussed this with Ava earlier, but here's a fractal. This is the closest fractal. Here's a high, Here's a high Ava with 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. If we could break above there tomorrow, this is a lot of nice sideways motion in the value zone. These are the kind of breakouts that I would want to buy, but not quite this moment. MASI has a V2 false breakout to the downside, only 121,000 shares traded, so not enough. Nectar. No, don't see anything there. AYX has a 520 crossover. I don't know how this back tests. We did reject the 50. I don't like that, so I'm going to take that one off. AMED V1 to the downside, rejected near the 200, so no. LXU doing very, very well, very strong, have this consolidation and then this breakout. Rejected the 70 RSI today, however, so that's not of interest. MSCI, I really like this, but the problem is it's only traded 137,000 shares. I love this trade. I mean, I love the sideways motion. I love the V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. 3's above day 1. And a 520 crossover. I mean, I love it. On the weekly, we're holding support of the -1 ATR channel below. Dang it. I would buy this all day long if I could, but there's only 137,000 shares traded, so I'm going to take that off. Unfortunately, that was too bad. I got excited when I saw that. BDX close above the 200-day moving average. MACD has turned positive. We've gone under 50, over 50. That all looks pretty good. A lot of resistance up here at the 50. I don't know enough about, I don't know if this back tests well, so I'm going to let that one slide. And then Merck, under 30, over 30, we're at a 41. It's a bit extended. Did test the -3rd ATR channel. I mean, that looks pretty good, but I'm just going to let that one go as well. All right, what do we have? Okay, so all right, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Lockheed Martin just to free this up off my mind. So look, because I have things to do at the end there. So I sold all my Lockheed Martin. Luckily for a profit, not as much profit as there was, but better than having a loss for sure. All right. So I did take Lockheed Martin off of here. CMI is very close to closing under. If it does, I'll have to get out of this trade. I'll have to watch that at the end. CHGG is down, but it's holding. MicroStrategy up almost 10%. Oh, get to my profit target. 506.72. You can do it. That'll be 3. That would be good. REKR down, but still holding. SPY, buying SPY at the close as always. TER. 520 is holding there, and then Twitter. Twitter is fine. I mean, yeah, Twitter's fine. So what it really comes down to today for me is either BMY, strong day, a lot of volume. I like this secondary stop loss here at 64.63. That one's pretty good. Casey, I think I'm going to let that one go. And EXPX, I do kind of like it. It's back over the 50. It has a 520 crossover. It's over the 50 RSI. Had a V2 yesterday. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take a half a position in BMY, and I think I'm also going to take a half a position in EXPX. So half a position in BMY using halfway of today's bar as my end of day stop going forward, which also dovetails nicely with the 50 EXP half position as well. So let me write this up here so I know exactly what I'm doing. EXPE. Oh, one sec, everybody. Okay, that was Amazon. All right, what do we have? 10 minutes? All right, I better hustle. EXPE, what am I buying? Okay. And BMY. And Okay. BMY EXPE. BMY EXPE. Okay. Oh, and then I need to also look at Jeff. Jeff looks like it's closing under. I am going to go ahead right now. Oh, good. MicroStrategies. So I'm going to sell half of JEF right now with the loss of the 50. Okay. Michael says LMT sneaking below the 65 sure was stealthy. Yes, it was. It was. George, good to see you, George. Hi, Greg. I have a question regarding Bristol. If the bars are larger than 1 ATR, it means volatility isn't. No, I mean, if the bars are larger than 1 ATR, it means that the movement was so strong that it moved more than it should have, essentially. 1 ATR means what the average true range is over the last 20 days. So if it moves more than 1 ATR, it means there was a larger amount of buying or selling than normal by the fact that it moved more than one ATR. And sometimes that can be, a bit of a precursor to a move. So that's why I don't take V1s or V2s if the day one bar is down larger than 1 ATR, because it showed that the move was larger than normal, and that might be indicative of something to come in the future. But if it's up larger than 1 ATR, it's a bit of a good sign. Nick, good to see you. Beyond Meat, extremely low volume red day, wedge up in short term, cup and handle on long term chart. Could push 160 by end of the week. Let's take a look. BYND. Well, it's holding the 5 EMA, it's holding the third ATR channel, it's holding the 200, consolidating up here a little bit over the 200. It could move up strongly after that. Would you think it will go 160, 200? That'd be great. Kamal says NEE, not sure if you already covered this. I had NEE on there, didn't I? Oh yeah, I did cover it, Kamal. It's a good setup. It's false breakout the downside. It's a V2, hasn't rejected the 50 RSI. The only thing I didn't like about it was the weekly, Kamal, with that 50 week above as resistance. But on the other hand, it rejected the negative third, the negative 1 ATR channel. So, I mean, it totally makes sense. I mean, the risk is minimal from here to here, where it could go up to the 200. So it does make sense. I just like the other ones a little bit better. Michael says EXPE back up to the 50 SMA. Yep, I saw that. Frank says well wishes to Scott McGregor of Scott Trades. On an occasional visitor to the site, he's recovering from appendicitis. Yes, Scott, I saw that he had just got home. And I wished him well, but yes, Scott comes here occasionally. So yes, let's wish Scott well, and I'll send him a letter, or I'll send him an email and let him know that we were wishing him well. Game plays with Mars. What the F is this? Oh, that's a good question. Gary says your profit target on MSTR should have just hit. Yep, it did. It did. That was the little bell. You too as well, Gary. Wow, up 10.56%. Unbelievable. Steve is long CTLT 107. He's also out of UTZ, and he's out of Angie. Okay. All right, so I'll get that at the end. All right, BMY. Let's buy some BMY. And EXPE, buying half of EXPE as well, half position. Okay. All right. So I bought BMY, bought EXPE, half positions both. Sold half of Jeff. CMI is still holding barely. Chug is fine. TER is fine with the 520 crossover. I think we're good. Oh, look at sneaky little Jeff over here. Well, it's still under 50 though. It's still under 50, so far still the right thing to do. All right, couple minutes to go. MSTR is a monster. Look at that, everybody. Up 11.58% now. Unreal. Unreal. Glad for everybody that has Bitcoin. All right, so looks like we have about a minute and 10 seconds to go. All the indexes are red, especially the Dow down 140. 1 minute to go exactly. Oh boy, is TER gonna sneak up on me? No. All right, we're good. We are good. We are good. All right, so let's take a look where we bought everything. Bought SPY today at 421.65. Bought a half position of EXPE at 172.91. and bought 1/2 position of BMY at 65.36. So BMY, bought BMY here at 65.36. Again, my stop's going to be halfway of today's bar that lines up with the 50. EXPE, I bought at 172.91. Glad it held that 50 still. And this is a half position, 172.91. And then I bought the overnight SPY at 421.65. Okay, that is me. I also got out of LMT. And so if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me today that they would like me to update on the board, go ahead, put it in the live stream chat, and I will take care of it. Before I get to that, real quick, just 3 quick pieces of business. Just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a really great course that's 15 hours, just one-on-one, just you and I. I think it's the best way to learn is one-on-one with your teacher or your mentor. I teach you all 5 of the trading approaches that I've been using over the last 25 years. I'll teach you step by step every single one of them. So regardless of what the market's doing, you should have an approach that you can use that uses an edge, based upon how I designed this or how I learned these. So they've worked for me. I think they're going to work for you as well. So if you are interested, the course does cost $1,750, but it really is worth every single penny because of all the experience that I'm going to bestow on you and all the personal one-on-one attention you get from the class. So if you're interested, just send me an email. The email's in the description of this video. Just in the subject line, say, hey, Greg, interested in potentially taking your course with you. I will reply, say, thanks for saying hi. Let's set up a Skype call. It's a good way for you and I to get to know each other. Good way for me to ask you some questions about your trading goals, your trading challenges, and what you're expecting to get out of the course. And then also it's a good time for you to ask me any specific questions that you have about the course. And then after the call, think about it as long as you want. And, if you're moved to decide, hey, I want to do it, email me back and we'll get it scheduled and we'll get rolling. Secondly, I do have a really good alternative to the one-on-one. Not as good as a one-on-one, but it is a really good alternative, especially from a cost standpoint. I do have an online video course on udemy.com where I teach you step-by-step how to trade the deep dip buy stock trading strategy. It's like $12. It's really affordable. It's a serious course, 9.5 hours of video, 26 videos total, 15 study guides. And if you take that course, I mean, for the $12, you are going to learn a lot. So the link is in the description of this video here to udemy.com. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps to keep the channel around, helps to build the channel, lets YouTube know that there's some valuable content here, valuable enough for the watchers to hit the thumbs up button. So there's a lot of people out there that need help with trading. And I think if we could get them to this channel, we could teach them some good trading principles. So you can help me help them, and all you really need to do is click the thumbs up button, and that's all I ask. So all right, thank you for bearing through that with me. Let's take a look. I know we have a bunch of different things going on. Okay, Steven is in CTLT 107.15 with a 520 crossover. 107.15. Steve with the 520 Crossover. All right, good luck on that, Steve. Steve is out of UTZ. Okay. Out of Angie. Okay, got that taken care of, Steve. Gary is out of win for a loss. Okay. Good trade for following your plan. Out of half Jeff. Okay, I don't have that on there, but we are both out of half Jeff with the loss of the 50. RSI. Kamal is out of Levi and match. Good trade, Kamal. Okay, still profitable trade for Kamal. And I still have Tracy and Paxton in there. Kamal says no additions. Michael says LMT closed below previous day's low both yesterday and today. If you originally took a V1, would you only sell half? Would you only sell half on one of the closes below the previous day's low? Yes, I would. I only use the close below the previous day's low after reaching 1.5 ATRs once to begin with. But, well, no, that's not true. I do use a close below the previous day's low again, but only after it rejects the 70 RSI. So, no, it did here. I sold half. Closing below the previous day's low again does not matter in this context. But again, it did get above 65 and then closed below. So I should have gotten out yesterday. So I am totally out of LMT. Lilia is out of LMT. Good thing we sold half yesterday at least, right, Lil? And in BMY. All right, good luck to us, Lilia. David says, Greg, I actually sold TER. Sorry, I've been traveling and not able to follow the podcast. Okay. Well, I'm glad you got out of TER. That 520 held. Okay. All right. I got you out, David. Hope you're doing well with your travels. Frank says, just a thought, the more intense and frequent the trade, the more energy it requires from the trader. Boy, that is certainly true. That is certainly true. The more intense and frequent the trade, the more energy it requires from the trader. Yeah. Trading frequently comes at a cost. You've seen that meme where there's that young guy and then he becomes a day trader and he's that old guy. That's right. Frank says no trades. David says no trades. Paxton is out of BILL. All right. I think that was probably a good choice. Profitable trade nonetheless. Packy, way to go. Out of TER. Okay, I had you out of that anyway. CMI, you're out of CMI. Okay. I'm going to have to sell that after hours. I didn't realize that it closed below. If I can, I'll try to get out. I'll try to get out after hours because the 5 did cross below the 20. That one snuck up on me. So let me see what I can do after hours there. That's a wide spread. I'll do my best. I will do my best. And out of 1/2 of match. Okay. out of 1/2. Paxton is out of Twitter. I think that's a good move. Michael says, thank you, Greg. You're certainly welcome. Jonathan is in 1/2 of BMY. Okay. Okay. So I still have Johan in Lockheed, but he's not here today, so he very well could be out as well. And then, oh, you were an MSTR from yesterday. Fantastic. Tracy Paxton. Gary. Come on now. And Jonathan. Way to go, Jonathan. Glad to have you in that one. Fantastic. Yep, that was a good one. That made all that made all the other trades worth it. Okay. Let's see what's happening in after hours land. Spies up a bit. Qs are down. MicroStrategy's up another $2. Silver had a nice day today. All right. So let's read this like every day. If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction. So let's go out and do that. One random act of kindness just to a stranger, somebody you know, would just make the world a better place, right? If you come across an animal, if you could please do that for an animal, they would appreciate it as well. Maybe one day somebody will do it for you, but it's so simple and it's so true. But if we could just be kind, do one nice thing for another human being, and that human being could do it for another human being, and so on and so on, it really would make the world a nicer place. I mean, it's kind of a fun little thing, and oh yeah, that's nice, but it's so true. You know what I mean? So I like to share that every day. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions or comments for me today? I'm happy to answer. And what am I looking for here? I'm looking for, oh, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. Kamal says, thank you, Greg. Have a great day, everyone. You as well, Kamal. Thanks for coming today, everyone. Hope you have a good day. Going for a nice hike today. Go out, do something nice, be good, be safe, drive safe. Study up on your charts, read some good trading books by Steve Burns, or go to his website, newtraderu.com. It's a fantastic site, newtraderu.com. Steve has a lot of online courses there, books, great content. You know, if you have some extra time today, get on your computer, check that out, and I'm sure you'll be glad that you did. Paxton says, MSTR trailing stop 3 profit targets. Oh, did we get to trailing stop level? Yeah, we did. There's the orange line. So now it's easy, right, Packy? Now we are at trailing stop. That's fine. Now if I get a close below the previous day's low, I will sell half. If it keeps on trucking up to at least the 65 but doesn't get to the 70, then if it closes below the 5, I'll get out of everything. If it goes on up, rejects the 70, I'll sell half. After I do that, if I get another close below the previous day's low, I will get out of the second half. You know, right? Jonathan says, cheers, guys. Paxton says, my TS was 514. Oh, so you got close. You got really close. So remember, that changes every day now. Now it's 52.66 from entry. So on mine, it got there. Frank says, hint, hint, does Katie girl have a cousin that needs adopting? No, Frank. Are you looking for a shepherd? I'll help you find one. Does Katie girl have a cousin that needs adopting? No, I don't know any of Katie's family. I got her from somewhere. Are you looking for a pup? That would be great, Frank. I will definitely help you find one. Email me. I'll find one for you. One of these days I'm going to have puppies. I would just give you one, Frank. I would definitely just drive one out, or I'm not sure how they do it. Maybe drive one out, fly. I'd probably just keep it in my coat on the plane, right? All right, everybody. I think that's it for today. Index is all closed red. Paxton says, I think I hit it on Thinkorswim. Okay. Yep, index is all green, all red today, but thank goodness for MicroStrategies and Quitter and day trades. So, all right, take care, everyone. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.